El-Mani was once a city of prosperity, liveliness, unity, and harmony. Today, as many people come and go through the El-Mani bus station, they walk past many murals that all portray historical aspects of the city itself. Although much time has passed by and people have begun to forget how historical this town is, much of El-Mani's historical aspects are portrayed in the art that exists today. In Feng Huin's mural titled In the Meadow, she portrays 4 historical aspects of El-Mani in 4 different panels, all with a little cultural aspect and made with the ancient Chinese wood block or woodcut printmaking technique. You can see that the mural is made using this technique because of the extremely fine lines and close alignment of colors used to create an illusion of tonal gradation. In the first panel, she includes a lion which has a Chinese twist to it, and this portrays the El-Mani Lion Farm that existed from 1925 to 1942. Gay's Lion Farm was a popular tourist attraction that gave way to much attention and fame for El-Mani. If any of you are familiar with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios, the lion that roars in the introduction before a movie is played by lions Jackie and Slats from the farm. Also, if anyone is familiar with Charlie Chaplin's silent film The Circus, the lion in that film is actually one from the lion's farm here in El-Mani. Feng Huin adds this cultural Asian twist on the lion because 1. It represents the Asian population that existed in the city, and 2. In Asian cultures, the lion is said to be the guardian outside of the palaces, which in this case is the city of El-Mani. On the other hand, this panel also portrays an owl. The owl represents the original inhabitants of El-Mani, which were the Tongvas. The original lion statue that stood outside Gay's Lion Farm now today stands outside El-Mani High School. In Feng Huin's second panel of In the Meadow, she illustrates someone riding a horse and pulling a wagon along a river. She adds the wagon as a stereotypical Western feature, which there somewhat is in El-Mani. The river represents 2 of the famous rivers or waterways that run through El-Mani. Huin uses the river to represent both the San Gabriel River and the Rio Hondo. The San Gabriel River, for one, is an important piece of history because it was the river that the first settlers of El-Mani traveled alongside while migrating here. However, the Rio Hondo was also an important aspect of El-Mani history because this is where the first inhabitants of El-Mani, the Tongvas, arrived. In the third panel, Huin illustrates 3 different aspects of El-Mani. She illustrates the water tower, walnuts, and a train station. Although these weren't as important as other pieces of history, these are seen as iconic factors. She uses the water tower as a sort of metaphorical way to represent the waterways that run through El-Mani. The walnuts represent the old walnut industries that used to strive in El-Mani during the time. However, she also includes a train station at the center of this panel, which represents the Adobe Monte station built in 1858. Again, you can see that Huin puts an Asian rendering on the clouds, just like she does with the river in the previous panel or print. In the last panel, she illustrates at the center an Asian man and a Latino man who are standing on a farm. El-Mani was populated primarily with Latinos and Asians and still is today. In the early years of El-Mani, the city was mainly a farmland. However, in the upper corners of this panel, she portrays a Latino veteran and an Asian veteran. Not only did Latinos and Asians work together, but they also went off to war together. In the bottom 2 corners, she includes birds, which have a symbolic meaning of hope that both the farmers and veterans had in common. This last panel has a celebrative feeling because Huin puts smiles on the faces of the men and decorates the background with flowers, while the birds look happy and peaceful. It evokes a sense of happiness and peacefulness because it reminds viewers that El-Mani was once a place where people came together and worked together. On the other hand, you can see that Huin's choices of color has this sort of earthy agricultural feel to it, which is practically what she tries to emphasize on throughout this piece.